Hey guys, and welcome back to another season of Discovery gold making video. In this one, we're going to be talking about something a little bit different. We're going to be talking about the best items to invest in for Season of Discovery. Before we get into it, I'd like to say a huge thank you to everyone that has gotten a copy of my flipping guide. This is also going to be updated with all the best investments throughout Season of Discovery. But let's get right into this. So to start off with, you're going to need some storage for all of your investments. Now, there's two main ways to actually do this. You don't want to be spending gold on buying bank slots and buying a whole heap of bags. That is just going to waste your money if you're investing in a lot of different items. What I'd recommend doing is making a bunch of alts so they can have storage on those. Now, you can get a couple bags just for their personal bags. However, you don't actually need the bags. If you make enough alts, you can just fill out their default bags and also the default bank, and this will give you a lot of room to hold a bunch of investments. Now for phase 2 investments, there is another method. Because it's less than 30 days away, what you could do is you can just keep them in the mailbox. So for an example here, this is one of the items that I'm going to be talking about later on in the video. But I'll give you an example how you can actually hold on to these items on just one character, or you can use two and you can mail them back and forth. So say you just brought a bunch of an item that you want to invest in. It's a really good price at the moment, whichever item that you're investing in. And say you've brought a bunch of them. So as you can see, they're going to last for 30 days in your mailbox. So by the time 30 days is up, we're going to be in phase 2. So by then, you may think about selling the items if they're at a profitable price. We will talk a bit more later on in the video of the best times to sell the phase 2 investments and also when to sell long-term investments. But this is a great way to actually store all of the investments. You can pretty much keep them in your mailbox. However, if it's going to be a long-term investment, what you can do is you can juggle them in between two alts. So you can buy them all up, you can send them to your other alt, wait about say like 28 days, and then you could send them back to the first character, and this way you could just juggle them in between the two alts. Now you have the storage part down pat. What you want to move on now is to learning how to use JP Morgan. Now this is an extremely useful website that shows a bunch of data. Now it uses the price data from TSM, but there is a bunch of really interesting charts, and you can actually track all the way back to 5 years of data. Obviously, Season of Discovery hasn't been that long, but you can set this say to 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, and see what the market is doing. Using this website, you'll be able to determine how much of an item actually sells, and you'll be able to determine the best time to buy an item to invest in. So you'll be able to look at the chart right here, and you'll be able to see when the all-time lowest price is for the item. Now you need to select Season of Discovery, also your realm, also which region you're playing on. Once you do that, you just write in the name of an item and it'll bring up all this information about the item, which will help you know the best time to buy and sell a item. Moving on to the best way to actually sell the items in game. So that is going to be with TSM, which is Trade Skill Master. Now you can set this up in many different ways, so it can do a bunch of different operations for you, and you can also make groups of the items that you're going to be investing in. Make the whole process a lot easier and pretty much automatic for you. Now I do have a pre-made investment group with operations set up to do it all for you with all the items already in it, but in this video I will be showing you how to do it manually yourself. To get the pre-made group, that will be inside of my flipping guide with a bunch of other investment information. So to make a group yourself, you just want to click on the new group tab and it will make a new group. Then what you want to do is you want to add the item that you want in this specific group. Now when you're doing this, I'd recommend doing it item by item because you want to make different prices for every single item that you're investing in. Now once you do that, you need to set up a operation. So you go to auctioning operations and then you select new group, and you simply make a new group by clicking the plus sign. Now once you have this set up, you want to go over to posting. You want to change this to 2 hours for when you're selling the item. Now you can play around with these stack sizes, doing this manually. I will have these all set up for you in the pre-made TSM groups and operations that you get with the flipping guide for investing. But for this item, say we paid around 4 silver for this, so the minimum price we may be happy with, say, is 10 silver. The normal price, we'll put that to 20 silver, and then the max price to 50 silver. You want to make sure that you have when below min, it does not post the item. So you select do not post item where I just showed you. Then what you want to do is you want to connect this operation to the group for that specific item that you're investing in. Now once you have done this, it is set up to go. Now when you go over to the auction house, it's not going to post the item for this example if it is under 10 silver. So it will come up with the cheapest auction below the min price. You want to wait until this actually is postable when it is over 10 silver, and it will basically automatically show you. You just keep on clicking and trying to post the item until it allows you to post it. However, if you would like my pre-made groups, which have all the items that I recommend investing into, so this will have investments for phase 2 and also long-term investments for Season of Discovery in general. Now this has a few more operations. I didn't want to give too much away in the video, but if you'd like to get your hands on this, you can find it inside of my flipping guide, which will have all the groups and operations that you can simply import to your TSM, and you can get started right away. Let's get into some of the best items to buy right now for investments. First of all, I'll be showing you some phase 2 investments and then also some long-term investments for Season of Discovery. Now I won't be showing you absolutely every single item to invest in. If you'd like access to that, you can find that inside of my flipping guide. However, let's get right into this. The first item that we're going to be talking about is Life Root. Now this can be farmed very easily at the moment in phase 1, and a lot of people have farmed a bunch of this. Now it can't actually be used for anything in phase 1 at the moment, so the supply and demand for this is really bad, meaning the price is extremely low at the moment. But in phase 2, as you can see, we're going to be able to use this for greater healing potions, mighty troll's blood potions, and also nature protection potions. So the supply and demand for this will go up, meaning the price of the life root will also go up. It can also, and it's required to make the whirlwind axe. You're going to need 8 of these and handing them in for a quest. So there is going to be really good supply and demand for this in phase 2. The next item is the large fang. Now this is currently only used in one craft for the barbaric gloves. Now in phase 2, this is going to be used for a bunch of different things, but the main item that it's going to be used for is making great rage potions. So this potion right here is going to be used by pretty much every single warrior throughout phase 2. For that, I believe the price of the large fangs are going to go through the roof. They're extremely cheap at the moment because they're only used in one craft. However, in phase 2, they're going to be used for a bunch of different things, and they're super easy to farm at the moment in phase 1, but there's not much use to them. So when phase 2 comes around, the price of these are going to skyrocket. Next item is King's Blood. Now this is currently being farmed quite a lot. However, once again, there is no use for this in phase 1. Now in phase 2, we're going to be able to use it to make greater healing potions, mana potions, and also the great rage pots that pretty much every single warrior is going to be using. So for that reason, right now, the supply is very high and the demand is very low. However, as soon as we go into phase 2, the demand for this is going to go a much higher, which will make the price go up because there's going to be the same supply, if not less supply, of the King's Blood. So that is why I think King's Blood is a really good item to invest in. Next item for phase 2 is going to be Strangle Kelp. Now this also could be a long-term investment because it is used in free action potions, which are always going to be needed in Season of Discovery for many different reasons. But the main reason that I think the price will go up even more in phase 2 is because it is used for mana potions. And these mana potions, people are going to be going through them quite a lot. So there's going to be a lot of them made, meaning a bunch of Strangle Kelp is going to be used to be making the mana potions, especially even in the first week or two of phase 2, where everyone is leveling and is going to need these mana potions. Next up, we have Bolts of Mage Weave. Now these are currently fished up from the crates that you get when you are fishing. So there is actually a bunch of these in the game at the moment, but there's no use for them once again, meaning the supply is high, the demand is low, making the price very low at the moment for these. As soon as we get into phase 2, there is going to be a bunch of different crafts that are going to require bolts of mage weave, so the price of these should definitely go up if you can get them at a good price right now in phase 1. One of the main reasons and one of the main items is going to be the mage weave bags. I believe a bunch of these are going to get made in phase 2. A lot of people will prefer making these because there is going to be high demand for them. Now let's talk about some long-term investments. So the first item is going to be magic dust. Now this item is going to go up and up in price just from inflation. Also, there is a few locations that you can actually farm this at the moment while you're questing at a lower level around level 20. And so there are a few of these coming into the game from people just leveling and messing around level 20 and actually farming these without even trying to. In later phases, there'll be less people doing this. On top of that, just with inflation, because this is always going to be used in the game for like PvP and some PvE content, price of this will just steady go up throughout the lifespan of Season of Discovery. Next up, we have the Swift Thistle. Now this is used in a bunch of different potions and also one of the new waylaid crates. However, the two main items that this is going to be used for all the way throughout Season of Discovery is going to be the Thistle Tea and also the Swiftness Potion. The Thistle Tea is used for rogues to get back 100 energy and it is on a 5-minute cooldown. This is used all the way throughout the game. Also, the Swiftness Potion, this is also going to be used all the way out through Season of Discovery. It gives an extra 50% movement speed for 15 seconds. This is why I believe this will be a great item to invest in for the long term. Next up, we have the Oily Blackmouth. Now this is used to make the Blackmouth oil, which is then used to make the free action potions. Now, free action potions are going to be used all the way throughout Season of Discovery for PvP and also some PvP situations. It basically makes you immune to stuns and movement slow effects for 30 seconds. And this is an item that is used very heavily in Classic WoW. Next up, we have the Small Flame Sack. Now, the reason I'm showing this, it is a long-term investment, but it's being farmed quite heavily in phase 1 at the moment. Now, in phase 2, it's going to be used for the Dragon Breath Chili, but in the long term, this is going to go up in price in the later phases, mainly for the Fire Protection Potion. So it's a great time to stock up on some Small Flame Sacks now for later into Season of Discovery. So the final long-term investment I'll be showing in this video is going to be for the Deviate Fish. Now, Deviate Fish are used to make the savory Deviate Delights, which we all know everyone loves to use in Classic. Now, these are going to constantly go up in price all throughout Classic, all the way to the end of Season of Discovery. Now, you can invest in the Deviate Fish or into the savory Deviate Delights. Now I want to talk about another method of investing in Season of Discovery. And this is going to be investing into materials that are used to level professions that are pretty much at the vendor sell price. These items will never go below the vendor sell price, so if they're pretty much at the vendor sell price already, then they can only go up from there. Now, the best items to do this would be materials that are used in leveling professions. So some of the very low level herbs, cloths, the linen cloth, leathers and things like this, these are going to only go up in price if they're already at their bottom price, which will be the vendor sell price. So what I'd recommend doing with these sort of items is checking out which one of the items or which items are close to the vendor sell price, and you can go ahead and just constantly buy them whenever they reach the vendor sell price. Hold on to these because no matter what, they're going to go up in price sometime throughout Season of Discovery, and if for whatever reason they don't, which they more than likely will, you can just vendor them and you'll get your money back. So this is another way and a very safe way to invest into pretty much any material that is at the vendor sell price. Now, I would only do this with materials because they have a very low deposit cost when you're posting these up on the auction house, and they do so a lot quicker than say any gear or anything else. So I'd only do this with materials that are used to level professions. When investing, the main tip that I can give you is do not panic sell. So what I mean by this is some people will have a big investment in an item. They'll see that the item has went down in price instead of going up in price. And what they'll do is they'll panic sell, and they'll sell that item at a loss. You never want to do this. The items that I've showed you are going to go up in price sometime or another. What I'd recommend doing is keeping an eye on the price or using the website that I showed at the start, JP Morgan. And you want to keep track of the price of the item, but you never want to sell the item at a loss. You hold on to it until the price goes up. Especially with these long-term items, the prices are going to be going up and down all the way throughout season or discovery. But what you want to do is hold on to them and only sell them when you're happy with the profit that you're getting. Even if you need gold to say get your mount, or you need gold to buy a special item that you want, you never want to sell your investment at a loss. Hold on to it and sell it when it is profitable at the correct time. Best time to sell your phase 2 investments. Now technically there is never a best time, it is whenever they are at the highest price on your realm. But I can give you a ballpark when I expect the prices to be at an all-time high and also the demand. A week before phase 2 actually launches, there is going to be an increased price on a lot of the phase 2 items that you're going to be investing in. And then I would honestly say in the first week and second week, the prices are going to dip a little bit because everyone is going to be leveling and they're going to be busy doing other things in the game. They're not going to be leveling their professions or anything like that. They're going to be leveling alts, and also just playing the new content. After about 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, this is when I expect everyone to start working on their professions, which will then make the demand for the items that you're going to be investing in go up, and this will be another good time to sell. Maybe 3 weeks plus, on the 3rd week or the 4th week. Around then is probably going to be the peak price for some of these items. So that is when I would recommend selling, either 1 week before the launch of phase 2 or about 3 to 4 weeks into phase 2. Definitely not the first 1, 2 or 3 days into phase 2. Everyone is going to be completely busy leveling. If you are using TSM to help you know when the prices are profitable and meet your criterias, you could sell pretty much whenever they meet the criterias of your TSM operations. If you're using my pre-made groups and operations, it will have it set up all for you, so it is profitable. It will keep track of how much you paid for all of the items, and it will have a times amount of how much profit you actually want to make on the item. When it says it is profitable and you can actually post the item using TSM, I would recommend selling whenever this is available. So this could be, like I said, maybe a week before the launch of phase 2 or maybe a few weeks into phase 2. What I would constantly do is log on to your investment alts, go over to the auction house, open up TSM, run a post scan, and if any of the items can post, that means they're going to be posting for a really good profit, and you can go ahead and you can try to sell them then. So if you already have the flipping guide and you have the TSM groups and operations for the investments, as soon as it allows you to actually post the items because they're at a profitable price and it's not below your min price, then go ahead and post them up. You might as well sell the investments while they're profitable. This way you can pretty much sell them whenever they are profitable. You just have to check with TSM and it will show you when you can actually post them on the auction house. So that'll make it a lot easier if you already have the flipping guide with the TSM groups and operations set up for you. You basically, just like I said, run that post scan. If they allow you to post the items, they're going to be at a profitable price. Now you could hold on to them if you think they're going to even go above that, but do not get greedy. If you're making a good profit on the items and you want you think that you get 50 times more for that item, don't be too greedy. Make sure you sell when it is profitable. Try not to be too greedy with your investments, because sometimes if you be too greedy, you can actually miss the peak and then end up the items going down in price. If you would like access to all of the items that weren't mentioned in this video, you you can find all of them inside of my classic flipping guide. You also will get access to the pre-made groups and operations that are made for TSM for investment items. It has all the best investment items for phase 2 and also some long-term investments. In the future, it will be updated with the best phase 3 and the best phase 4 investments, and you'll get them completely for free if you already own the guide. On top of that, what the guide is really about is normal flipping in classic WoW, Season of Discovery, and also in hardcore. It will teach you how to set everything up so you can make a lot of gold flipping. You also will get pre-made TSM groups and operations for normal flipping that you can import to your TSM and you can start right away. The groups have a bunch of different items that I've put a lot of time and effort into finding which are the best items in the game. Now, if you're just focused on Season of Discovery, it also will have all of the groups sorted by phases and all the best items that I recommend flipping throughout Season of Discovery. On top of that, you also will get access to a private Discord where I will personally help you out myself. Plus, there is a bunch of other people that are willing to help you out too that know a lot about flipping. And you can find that in the first link down below in the description box. However guys, that was it for today's video. If you enjoyed this video and you learned a lot, hit the thumbs up button and subscribe for more gold making and flipping content. Till next one guys, take care.